it piques my interest, and that's a problem. The music drew too much attention to itself.
Today, I'm joined by Tommy Zee, who is a music producer and founder of a production company that specializes in making music for big brands. On Discord, I asked people to rescore an existing Audi commercial that I just found on YouTube. We're going to look at these. This is our first impressions, seeing how did they approach the score, the music, how does it work with the picture, how does it feel just representing the brand, working as a commercial. So Tommy, thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And I have not, in fact, seen anything yet or heard anything yet. So this will be a true instinctual first-hand impression of what I'm seeing and hearing. And I promise to be gentle and constructive, as I usually am with any musician that I work with on a big brand campaign.
So this one is from Lazarius Shelby.
We all look at the same world, but we all look at it in a different way. Some see a concept.
This is a very good start to any brand campaign. I mean, brand campaigns are known for solo piano, simple, but not shallow. And so far, you are making me interested. You have started small, which makes me think this story is going to unfold, but you have not started in a boring way, or in a way that is too small to have me intrigued.
My instinct would be to add like a pad or some, just like some soft strings or something behind it, just to give it a little more body. So.
You could, but the more you add right at the outset, the less room you have to go.
Sure.
And you have to keep expanding. You have to keep adding, and you have to keep twisting and turning. And the music actually, in this context, should underline and set me up for a journey. So it's not time yet to give away all your cards. It's just time to lead people in gently and slowly. But so far, so good, I would say. Yeah. Here we go with Revolution.
Some just see sheer speed. We see inspirational engineering. Some just see beautiful lines.
I actually love how Lazarius holds back on like the chord change. Like you expect it to change at a certain point, but he just keeps that motif going a little bit longer, which kind of gets you in this hypnotizing, repetitive. It really is. Repetition is really, about hypnotizing the listener into a certain pattern. As long as the pattern is not too simple, it works very elegantly with the voiceover and with what's happening on the screen.
Changing your chords slowly, like a slow harmonic rhythm, I think adds to the grandness of it too, that it's just this kind of very elegant thing. It's got this kind of Hans Zimmer quality.
That's right.
Of just
That's
this
right.
Epic,
So far the structure and the ingredients are very tastefully selected. And what I would say is, like, as a composer who's creating music for brands, the consideration is, there's like another dimension that you have to consider than just like when you're making music on your own. You have to take into consideration, okay, like, what is Audi? Is it a Hyundai? No, it's not a Hyundai. It's not a Kia. Audi just resonates differently in your perception when you say that brand name. Sports, performance, and elegance. The selection of instruments, for instance, so far it has a very elegant combination of sounds and very elegant unfolding, which creates zero dissonance for me. I'm digesting this very easily. Like, right. I'm buying this. I'm buying the audio-visual transmission. Let's keep moving.
We see character. Some see a new light. We see a new vision. Some see a factory. We see progress. see what's there. We see beyond. Audi.
The only place where I start kind of getting restless a little bit is past the 1 minute mark. When I have gotten used to the pattern now, I have gotten hypnotized by it. And now I'm hearing the voiceover say things like progress. There's some fancy guy drawing a fancy diagram. And I just want to feel a propelling forward from the music a little bit more. One thing specifically that I would comment on, right in the end, I hear a sustained string happening. And there's nothing to sap energy out of something that's supposed to propel forward, like a sustained string over the top. What I would prefer is some kind of rhythmic arpeggios, strange staccatos, rolling like wheels on all sides, being added there to add even more momentum. So what I would do is consider a different way to end this particular piece, with everything else in place being great. I mean, really, I would definitely consider submitting this demo if we were actually working on this campaign.
The next one we have is from Michael Poole.
Get in here.
We all look at the same world, but we all look at it in a different way. Some see a concept. We see potential.
There are two things arising in me as this opens up. One is, it feels like we're already at quite a dramatic tone. And we just started this story and we have like 90 seconds to go. For a brand like Audi, we would like a little more sophistication in melody. I just feel like this downward melody that comes in, that ba, 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 slightly too predictable and simple. I want you to reach deeper, more refinement, a little deeper as far as the emotional information that the music's conveying. Let's keep going. Yes. Okay.
Some just see sheer speed. We see inspirational engineering. Some just see beautiful lines.
Very interesting.
We see character. Some see an
Okay, so I admire the composer for doing something that I did not expect would happen. There is quite a sophistication in what's been written musically there. I think it's quite innovative. It piques my interest, and that's a problem.
Right.
The reason why this is a problem is because I have to reiterate this lesson very clearly again, which is the music is only a single component of a bigger context, of a bigger story that includes, as a hero, also the voiceover, the characters that we're seeing, and whatever this message is trying to convey. I feel that through these elaborate leaps and upward progressions, which I thought were very interesting, the music drew too much attention to itself. Yeah, suddenly like the whole separated into the parts, where the music was like, hey, look at, I'm soaring, I'm going all the way up here. And there was nothing in the film or the VO for me to justify such a leap.
The VO is so sparse. You know, there's like a word and then 10
Exactly.
seconds and then a word. So there's so much room for the music to be like, hey, look at me, if it's doing that, I guess.
Exactly. So I think the author of this tune is quite gifted. And so that's great. I really found that if the concept was to elevate or to soar in some way that is unexpected, that this score would be something I'd want to throw into the mix. It's drawing too much attention to itself. And now I'm not hypnotized anymore because I've noticed just like one part instead of like being, engrossed by the whole. So that's what I would say here. Okay, let's
new
go.
light. We see a new vision. Some see a factory. We see progress.
It's actually been more steady since we paused.
Yeah, but it's going up, down, left, right.
Some see a new motor. We see a new era. Some see what's there. We see beyond. Audi.
Yeah. Whereas the intro felt a bit too expected with those two downward notes, from then on, the composer took us on this wild ride of like harmonic progressions and elevations and descents and turns. Suddenly, it's a bit too much.
Mhm.
It's a bit too much. It sticks out too much. It draws too much attention to the music. I do not sense a certain theme. I'd really want to bring it down to a more simplified theme with a few chapters of unfolding, of leaving home, exiting on an adventure, but then coming back, make things a little more predictable,
Sure.
but not plain, sort of like they were in the beginning.
To me, the last 10 seconds or so felt like kind of like a video game. It drew my attention as like dun, da, 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 a little bit.
Yes, yes.
That was again just too much, like, you know, breaking the illusion that everything goes
I would
together.
totally agree with you. And it, like, if Audi was a human, they wouldn't be so exuberant, not in that way. And so that exuberance, that was that fanfare at the end, I would agree with you. I don't necessarily think a fanfare and Audi are compatible.
Mhm.
So we'd have to express that happy ending or like that feeling of open road and that elegance and that performance in a different way. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the training program you have?
We offer a free training. It's 45 minutes and it gives you a very macro perspective of our business. But at the same time, you learn everything there is to know about how it works. What is the process? Who are the people involved? How much money can you make? We talk about very specific amounts. And then what do you need to do to get into the business? And then if you watch this and you go, okay, I actually think this is for me and I want to go all in and I'm serious, then we offer, you know, a whole academy, 40 hours of lectures with homework, which will be reviewed just like this by music producers who are a part of my music production company. And if you're interested in like, okay, who is this guy? Why isn't he making money doing this himself? I want to reassure you that our production company is still alive and well. And you can check out our reel at tommyzee.co. And so rest assured that we are teaching what we are actually doing. I do believe if you have the talent and tenacity, you can get traction. And that's what we lead people through, the 7 stages of how to do that.
Next one we have is from Aviv Shuker.
We all look at the same world,
Okay, here we go.
but we all look at it in a different way. Some see a concept. We see potential.
Okay. Elegant, thoughtful, very nice.
Some just see
professional
sheer
there.
speed. We
you
see
depth.
inspirational engineering.
It's moving
Some
very
just see
nicely.
beautiful
There's so much
lines.
room to grow. Okay.
We see character.
Yes.
Some see a new light. We see a new vision. Some see a factory.
Very nice. quote
We
again.
see progress. Some see a new motor. We see a new era. Some see what's there. We see beyond. Audi.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good things happening about this track. It's got that refinement. It's got that sophistication. It's got that elegance. It's got that depth. It's got that dreamy quality, right? It really does dance very elegantly with this story and the picture. I love the waves in the beginning. That's what I call it. It's like waves. It's like, it's just waves. They're washing over me. But it's like sometimes I want a different wave to hit me, or the wave to hit me differently. And though I did feel a sense of progression halfway through, there was very nice additions and layers that made me feel the forward progress. Overall, fundamentally, I still felt like it's all based on those heavy stomps that unfold with these waves, like bum, bum, all the way through. So what I would suggest, and this is definitely a demo, just to get your spirits up here, that we would be cooking with. Like we would take it in, we'd say exactly what I'm saying to you right now. Love the opening, love the waves, would want to change how we perceive the rhythm in this composition halfway through. And then at the end, let's come back to the waves. And it always works the same way, brother. Always. Like you start small, you go into first gear, you go into second, third, you have some kind of a change, you have the climax, and then you end coming back home. Skill, very high. Sounds used, excellent. Some of the chords, the way they landed, I was like, oh, so rewarding. The only thing that I would attach to is these rolling waves, which I would interrupt as a pattern for probably 40 seconds or so, only to return to them later on.
I really like this one. I liked a lot of the subtlety and these kind of little textures because it felt like things were always changing. The end for me felt a little sad, though. Instead of me being like, "Wow, I need to be in that car," I was more like, there was just a certain melancholy.
Why do we spend so much of our income on machinery? And that's something that a brand definitely wants to avoid. And more often than not, they will want to like make sure that it's positive or uplifting. And I'm quite pleasantly surprised by these submissions.
Well, we heard these in mono and we paused and stopped. So I'll put links in the descriptions to the 3 that we listened to today. So if you want to listen to them from start to finish and hear how they sound, check for those links. Well, thanks so much for doing this. This is
right
fun.
on, brother.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much for having me, and yeah, all the best, and all last words to the folks watching this: keep your head up, keep moving forward, and don't worry about nothing.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.